stop and think about that for a second. That phone you might be holding right now, it wasn't built down the street. It traveled through this amazingly complex hidden web just to find its way to you. So today, we're going to pull out the map and trace that web together.
All right, so our story starts with a really basic challenge. To get a handle on this whole network, you first have to understand the one core problem that every single company making a physical product has to solve. And this right here, this really nails the problem. It's just a huge disconnect. So on one side, you've got a company like Maruti churning out thousands of cars from one single spot, let's say Delhi. But on the other side, you've got millions of people who might want to buy one, and they're scattered all across India. So how in the world do you bridge that massive gap in space and time? I mean, making something is pretty useless if you can't get it to the people who actually want to buy it, right?
And the answer to that billion-dollar question? Well, that's the hero of our story today, the distribution channel. The easiest way to think about it is like a product highway system. It's the specific route, all the stops, and the handoffs that a product takes on its journey to you. And it's not just about trucks and ships, it's also about who owns the product at each step of the way, all the way from the person who made it to the person who's going to use it. And, this highway system has a whole cast of characters. First, you've got the manufacturers. They're the starting line. Then you have the intermediaries. These are the middlemen, the crucial links in the chain. And helping them out, you've got the facilitating agencies. So think of the shipping companies that actually move the stuff, or the banks that finance it all. And then, finally, the whole point of the journey, the consumer. That's you and me. Okay, so now that we know who's involved, let's look at the actual roads they use. Because there isn't just one single product highway. Companies have to pick the absolute right path for their product, and that choice can literally make or break their entire business. So first up is the shortest, simplest path you can imagine. The manufacturer sells straight to you. No one in between. Think about buying something right from a company's website, or going way back, companies like Avon that had sales reps come right to your door. It's a direct line, zero middlemen.
Okay, now let's add just one stop to the journey, and you get the retail route. This is where a massive retailer, like a Walmart, buys huge quantities straight from the manufacturer and then sells it to us. This is super common for those big box stores because they have so much buying power they can just skip over any other middlemen.
Now, this is what most of us probably picture as the classic way things work. The manufacturer sells giant bulk orders to a wholesaler, then the wholesaler's job is to break that bulk down into smaller shipments and sell those to thousands of different local retail shops. And those local shops are where you and I buy from. This is how a lot of everyday things gets your neighborhood store.
And believe it or not, the chain can get even longer. In some markets, especially for things like food that have to get to tons and tons of tiny little stores, you might see extra players like agents or so-called jobbers. They act as yet another link in the chain, buying from the wholesalers to sell to the really small retailers.
So with all these options on the table, how does a company possibly pick the right one? Well, it's definitely not random. It's a super careful strategy. It's the art of creating the perfect distribution mix. You can really see the two opposite ends of the spectrum here. With intensive distribution, the goal is just total saturation. You want to be in every possible store. Think about a bar of soap or a pack of gum. You want a customer to be able to find it absolutely everywhere. But then on the flip side, you have exclusive distribution. And that's all about being selective, creating scarcity. You're not going to find a Lamborghini dealership on every street corner, right? Because that exclusivity is part of the appeal. It helps maintain that prestigious vibe. So what's actually going into this big decision? Well, it really boils down to a few key questions they have to ask themselves. First, what's our product like? Is it perishable, like milk? Well, then we need a really short, fast channel. Is it huge and bulky, like cement? Then we need to handle it as little as possible. And where are our customers anyway? How much control do we want to keep over our brand? And of course, the big one, what can we actually afford? The answers to all these questions are what shape the final strategy. Now look, this might all seem like something you'd hear in a business school lecture, but this invisible network actually creates very real, very tangible value in our day-to-day lives. This entire system is designed to create something called utility. So, place utility is simple. It's getting a product where you are. Time utility is getting it when you want it, like buying fresh strawberries in the middle of winter. Form utility means getting it in the right size or package that works for you. And possession utility is all about making the whole process of buying it and owning it feel smooth and easy. That's the real-world payoff of a great distribution channel. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The whole point of this complex, hidden system is to close that gap between the maker and the user. It's to make sure that all that effort of production isn't wasted, and that we, the consumers, can get what we need, exactly how, when, and where we need it. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future. The rise of the internet has put that direct, zero-level channel we talked about on steroids. So as we all click buy now more and more often, which of these classic middlemen and old-school paths are going to become obsolete? And what totally new creative channels are just waiting around the corner to be invented? That's definitely something to think about.